In all her youthful visions of the future, of the job she might have, the city and home she might live in, the friends and family around her, Marnie had never thought that she'd be lonely. In her adolescence, she'd pictured the future as a series of imaginary photographs, densely populated, her friends' arms draped around each other, eyes red from the flash of the camera in the taverna or lit by the flames of a driftwood fire on the beach, and there, right in the centre, her own smiling face. The later photos were harder to pin down, the faces less defined, but perhaps there'd be a partner, even children among the friends she would surely know and love all her life. But she hadn't taken a photograph of another person for 6 years. The last time she'd had her picture taken was at passport control, where she'd been instructed not to smile. Where had everyone gone? Now 38, she'd grown up in the golden age of friendship, when having a supportive, loving community around you was a far greater priority than the vexed business of family, the strained performance of romance, or the sulky obligations of work. The late-night phone calls, the texts, the outings and board games, it had all been so much more exciting and fulfilling than her erratic love life, and hadn't she once been good at it? A nice addition to the group, if not the core, well-liked, if never adored or idolised. She was not one of those girls who hired a nightclub for her birthday, but she'd easily filled a room above a pub for her 21st, a long table in an Italian restaurant for her 30th. For her 40th, she thought she might go for a walk in the park with a friend or two, a once popular band obliged to play ever smaller venues. Year by year, friends were lost to marriage and parenthood with partners she didn't care for or who didn't care for her, retreating to new, spacious, ordered lives in Hastings or Stevenage, Cardiff or York, while she fought on in London. Others were lost to apathy or carelessness. Friendship like a thank you letter she kept meaning to write until too much time had passed and it became an embarrassment. And perhaps it was natural, this falling away. Real life was rarely a driftwood fire or a drunken game of Twister, and it was part of growing up to let go of those fantasies of perpetual skinny dipping and deep talks. But nobody took the lost friends' places. And now she had revised her vision of the future to one of self-containment and independence. Tea from a nice cup, word puzzles on her phone, control of the TV, her books, her bed. To eat, drink, read and ignore the clock. To live without the intrusion or judgment of another soul. The fantasy of being the last woman on earth. She couldn't say whether a falling tree in a forest made a noise, but no vibration that she made would strike another eardrum, so she'd taken to speaking to objects. Not you again, she joked with the damp patch in the bathroom. Nice and fresh, she complimented the eggs. There you are, she bantered with the corkscrew, waving its arms in the air. In a film on TV, Marnie watched a solitary character give a long pep talk to her reflection. Nobody does that, she told the TV. But solitary conversation was like playing yourself at Scrabble. It was hard to be surprised or challenged. Sometimes she didn't even bother with words, instead developing a vocabulary of small noises, their meaning ever shifting. The radio helped, her days marked by the schedules, though the news was increasingly an hourly jolt of pure anxiety or rage that left her scrambling for the switch. She played music, listening to playlists called things like Coffee Shop Essentials or Rainy Day Piano, but no one had yet compiled a playlist for those sluggish Sunday afternoons in her one-bedroom flat, listlessly foraging on social media, incontinently liking posts, present, but as anonymous as someone clapping in a stadium crowd. Time is a sensation that alters depending on where you are, and the cursed hours between 3 and 5 on a February afternoon lasted forever, as did the same hours in the morning, times when she had nothing to contemplate but the same circling anxieties and regrets, time when she was forced to acknowledge the truth.